Okay, so I want to talk about that play in the fourth inning when our best defender got his hand gnawed off by a bunch of rabid beavers.
Rabid beavers? Don't you mean?
So the Orioles had this stupid pinch runner on first base named Beavers, and Julian Tavares hits a weak ground ball to Arise.
Actually, his name is Leody.
And Arise
Tavares.
comes in a ball, and this Beavers guy just like viciously kicks him in the hand like a coward.
It kind of looked accidental.
And Arise still throws the batter runner out at first. And it should have been a double play because you should definitely be called out when you attack somebody, Matthew.
Well, he was called out.
But no! They called a stupid Casterid out, but the guy at first is safe because it's a dead ball foul or whatever the hell you call it in baseball when somebody gets attacked.
Yeah, well, that really was unfair. I think the rules committee should...
And I'll tell you what, the rules committee should absolutely fix that. It should have been a double play.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you another thing. If I was running that team, there would be one more beaver out there in the world with a baseball-sized welt on the side of its head.
One more?
Not that it should have gotten that far anyway, because Willie Adamas should have knocked that beaver's front teeth out. I'll tell you what.
Are you done?
Yeah, I'm done.
You didn't let me get a single word in.
That's the point of the whole show, Matthew. Bob, hit it.
No, that's my job. Hit it, Bob.
Welcome to Giant Cocktails, where the humor is elite, but the baseball sucks. Oh yeah, here are your hosts, Ben and Matthew Henry.
Welcome to episode 357 of Giant Cocktails. Ben, Hunter Pence had a 357 on-base percentage for the 2016 Giants, who went 87-75, finishing second in the National League West. One of only 2 times in the last 10 seasons that the Giants have finished above 500. But that's not what we're talking about. We're celebrating Hunter Pence.
Oh, yeah. But I mean, we kind of do need to bring it up, right? Just in case there's people who are affiliated with the Giants who happen upon our show and they forget, or they think maybe we don't notice. But anyway, I think it's great that we're singing the praises of Giants hitting coach Hunter Pence.
That's Hunter Pence.
No, that's what I mean. I mean Hunter Pence, D&D aficionado, Magic the Gathering playing, scooter riding, coffee drinking Hunter Pence. God bless you. Also, I do want to say, no beavers were harmed in the making of today's opening.
Enough with the banter. Let's talk cocktails.
Yes, Bob, let's talk cocktails because I don't know, beavers and I don't even know.
What are you drinking, Matthew?
Bob, I'm drinking an Espresso Martini mainly because I didn't want to squeeze any citrus tonight. So, and I could have done it old fashioned, but the Espresso Martini was calling me. So that's what I'm having. I'll tell you all about it at the end of the episode.
What are you drinking, Ben?
Well, thank you for asking, Bob. That's very kind of you, Bob. Today, I'm drinking a cocktail that I like to call a Margarita. Now, if you've never heard of this cocktail, you can find out what's in it at the end of the episode. But I will tell you this, you do have to squeeze some citrus. But to me, that sounds way easier than squeezing a bunch of coffee beans. So I don't know. It sounds like I came out ahead here.
Maybe you did. I'm really strong, though. Those beans.
Okay, yeah. Well, it's just like so small. It's like very tedious, you know?
It is. Anyway, today is Sunday, April 12th, as we record this podcast. The Giants went 1-2 since we last recorded to bring their overall record to 6-10. And there are some of you out there who are on homeostasis watch already. I've got Scott and others. So that means we are 2 games back of homeostasis. But Ben, we would be 1 game over homeostasis if we don't count the Yankees series. And I'm not counting the Yankees series. So we are 1 game over homeostasis.
I fully endorse this idea. In fact, I think we should petition Major League Baseball to allow this because it's not like the Giants would make the playoffs anyway. This would have no practical effect on anything other than Giants fans feeling just slightly less bad about their team, keeping us in that homeostatic place of mediocrity to which we have become accustomed. I'm fully on board.
That's really what it is about, is us just being comfortable, because they win a whole bunch of games and then we don't really know what's going on, and they go beyond 2 games under 500 and then it just doesn't feel right. And so
yeah, that's why I thank the baseball gods for Saturday for stopping that winning streak in its tracks. Thank you, baseball gods.
Well, and we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the Orioles series, of course, and apparently Ben has lots of thoughts about the second game, particularly the 4th inning. I'm gathering from the beginning.
Well, they shouldn't let beavers out on the field, is what like I'm just a rabid animal. What is this, baseball? Give me a break.
We're also going to talk about, we're going to play a game of what if, because for the first time in a long time, Ben, it seems like the Giants might start to have options besides just the guys that are on their roster.
That's preposterous.
I know.
Wait, you can't be talking about the bullpen. You must be talking about position players.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's what I was going to say. Not the bullpen. Not the bullpen.
Speaking of the bullpen, though, a couple of tidbits for you. One is that both Joel Peguero and Sam Hentges started rehab assignments.
Whoa, dude. I have heard of both of those guys.
Yes, you have. And what that means is that we might actually be able to say goodbye to Yucky Borucky.
It needs to happen. And you know what? I mean, honestly, he's on bonus time right now. Right? Look how long he's been with the Giants. First of all, he made the opening day roster, which I don't think he's ever done. I know that Gage hasn't ever done that either. The problem is he's bad. Hence, it's bad when Matthew was calling you yucky. Like, let me just put it that way. Godspeed, Sam Hentges. Because God forbid we have less than 3 lefties in the bullpen. Especially when we have a guy like Caleb Killian, a righty who can just dominate lefties. Although Caleb's on my poop list now, Matthew.
Well, yeah, I mean, he gave up a hit and a run and all that.
All at once to a defensive whiz second baseman, rookie. Yeah. I'm just kidding, Killian. You're great. I love you. You're just a couple of moves away from becoming the new Camilo. Don't mess it up.
What I did think was interesting on the 2 rehab assignments is that the lefty Sam Hentges got sent to single A. So he's in San Jose. While Joel Peguero got sent to Sacramento. Now, I guess it just means that, like, they want them close by and they don't want them on the same team so they can both get more innings. I don't know. It's just thought it was interesting that they got to, one gets single A and the other one gets triple A as their rehab assignment.
That is interesting. It could be that they don't want to disrupt the rosters on either team that significantly, so they spread it out. That's probably what it is. And yeah, it's always going to be Sacramento and San Jose. Although, I mean, guys do occasionally get sent to Arizona if something is going on down there. But that's usually when they have a longer rehab assignment. But I honestly don't know anything about that and how that all works. So geographical location sounds like a good reason to me.
All right. Well, speaking of our minor leagues, there has been a lot of news. Like, normally, I don't know what's going on in the minors. Like, I don't
and
even
you
really
don't
pay
want to
attention.
know. No, yeah. Normally you don't want to know.
But the Giants now finally have enough minor leaguers that are doing well that it's starting to like bubble up into the consciousness of the Giants fans. So Bryce Eldridge, of course, has been on fire. He started off the season very strongly.
Oh, I did not notice.
He had on April 10th, he had a 4-hit game, which is his first 4-hit game of his career. And it looks like, Ben, that he might be ready for the major leagues. I'm just saying.
Oh, he might be. But, he needs more reps at first base because the Giants would never have a guy who doesn't know how to play first base play first base. They would not do that.
As of last week, too, there was some news that Johnny Level, our 19-year-old shortstop prospect, led all of the top 100 prospects in OPS with a 1.517 OPS, which I can't even say it. It's so many numbers. So good for him. He's still in single A, so it's not like he's going to rocket up there and be in the major leagues tomorrow. But it's always great to hear when Giants players are actually doing well, Ben.
It is good to hear. These days, I've become so jaded with our prospects, Matthew, except for one Bryce Eldridge, that whenever I hear somebody say a name, in my mind, I say Marco Luciano.
Well, sure. That's just natural for any Giants fans. You just be like, Luis Matos.
Yeah. Well, I'm like, let's trade them all, except for Bryce Eldridge.
Well, we will talk about that in our second segment. But first, Ben, there were some games played. And I got to tell you, we had 2 consecutive shutouts to end the Phillies series. We were going into Baltimore, taking the show on the road. I was like, okay, I'm feeling good. And then we take care of business under who, Ben? Landon
Oop.
One breath.
Oh, okay. I'm used to just doing caca. So I don't really, I'm not up to the speed on the Roops.
I know. You'll get used to it though. Landon Roop, though, 6 innings pitched, gave up 5 hits, had struck out 4, only allowed 1 run in 6 innings. Exactly the kind of start that we needed, and boom, we'd won 3 in a row. 3 in a row.
3 in a row. I mean, yeah, like that's when Giants fans start to feel a little weird, right? Yeah.
It starts to feel like there's like the team might actually be good. That you start to like feel like, wow, we could actually go on a little run here.
Yeah. It even happens to cynics like me. Like that's how I was feeling. I was like, oh yeah, we're gonna win this Baltimore series. We're gonna have a positive, like maybe we'll get 6 wins, maybe we get 7 wins on this 10-game road trip. Yeah, that's what happened. Like I get positive, and you know what, Matthew? You know what makes me more unhappy and grumpy than anything?
No, what?
Is being happy and positive. Like, I hate it.
You hate it, huh?
I hate being happy.
Oh, I don't blame you.
So, thankfully, the Giants... Well, no, I don't blame the Giants. I don't blame the Giants for Saturday. Clearly, the baseball gods just didn't want the Giants to win. And it happens. I know. It happens to every team. But Saturday really pissed me off.
Well... It pissed me off too, just because you're riding high. You have Logan Webb on the mound. Like I'm thinking, wow, we could really be going places. And I'm not saying let's sweep the Orioles, but I'm like 2 out of 3 at that point was a real possibility. And the game felt weird. Like there were so many instances where the Giants could like just get that hit to just take advantage of things. I mean, I don't know. It was. Mm-hmm. I don't even know how to explain it. It just felt like we were ready to do something. Elliot Ramos, driving in runs, didn't strike out once in that game. Like I was like, wow, things are going well. And then the 4th inning, Ben, which I sensed that you had a little bit of some thoughts around that in our intro.
Okay, look, when I first experienced the 4th inning, I was really upset. I didn't like, even when they showed me the replay, I was like, that guy needs to be taken care of. But now, upon further reflection, I realized that he was trying to get out of the way. And he wasn't trying to avoid the tag. He was trying to avoid making contact. After I have had, under cooler and calmer
circumstances,
I realized upon reflection.
Well, then you watched the video for like...
Yeah, I watched the video a bunch, and because I really wanted to be like, I really wanted to see how bad it was, and it was like, oh, it wasn't bad.
No. It was just a fluke thing where his cleat just jumped up and grabbed his ankle.
Yeah, but I will say this. There was an era in baseball where that wouldn't have mattered. He still would have gotten one in the year. And unfortunately, those days are long gone. I don't even think those days were around at any point in my lifetime. But there was a time, people.
Well, what was weird about this one, though, is that this was the Fox game. Mm-hmm. And they're interviewing Boz, or whatever his name is, Shane Boz, the starting pitcher from the day before, while this is all going on.
Yeah.
So, again, like, I don't really care about the interview of the previous day's loser. Like, I want to watch the game. And so we're not really getting like any like, hey, what's going on here? What's going on? And so I'm thinking, well, clearly as we're watching the replay, the guy's out at first, and they were even confused. The announcers were like, well, wait, the guy's still standing on first. What's going on? Maybe they're going to review it. And I just would have liked a little professionalism in the booth and just to be like, hold on here. This is something interesting. Let's discuss this, because I was genuinely confused. And then, you know, it took them like 4 or 5 minutes to like figure this all out while Logan Webb's just standing there off to the side, just waiting. Totally just disrupted the momentum and the flow of the game. And I felt like that was the turning point. I felt like, well, once that hit, there was nothing we could do to get back into it.
Well, but then there was a series of other close plays, and they had already like wasted their review. And so they couldn't review any of those things. And it was just like, okay, and Arise is out there playing with a hand that's problematic. I mean, although he still did make one good throw during that inning. And it was like things kept snowballing on a situation where it was like, okay, in a fair world, Arise would have tagged that guy out and then thrown the other guy out for a double play. Instead, they only get one out because the guy kicked him in the hand. And then the baseball gods were like, that doesn't feel like enough. Let's make it worse. And yeah, it was infuriating. It was infuriating. But I will tell you, the stupid national broadcasts, they've got to stop interviewing that person in the dugout. And why do they treat it like it is like this sacrosanct thing that they cannot break into? Like, this happened during the opening night game when they had the first ABS challenge. Right? Like on Netflix, it was like, oh no, we can't break into this really like historic moment because we're talking to some Joe Blow.
It was Tony Vitello, but yeah.
Well, whatever. Some Tony Blow.
But
okay?
I agree with you. Yeah. Yes. I don't know why we think that these interviews are like so much more important than the actual game. Well,
I'm not going to sit here and say like that was a good move by Netflix just because it was our manager. Like, it was a bad move. It was a bad move. And yeah, like, I don't know why they do this. And then people are like, well, you know, a lot of people who don't usually watch baseball are watching this game. No, they're not. There is nobody out there who's just flipping through the channels, be like, oh, baseball is on Fox. I'm usually watching The Simpsons. I'll watch this instead. That is not happening, okay? And then why would you put in front of them something that they care about even less than baseball? And then you have an interesting moment happen, and you totally don't tell them about it, and they're confused. What's happening on the screen? Why is that happening? Why are they just keep talking to Baz Luhrmann like this? I thought that guy was a film director. You know what I mean? This is very confusing.
Very confusing. And I will say the whole play, you mentioned at the beginning, I tried to mention it and then you stole my line, about needing the rules committee to look at this. And I don't know how the rules committee works. I don't know, like, do they like get like offers? People like send them suggestions. Is there like a mailbag that you could just send in?
I'm sure that's how it works. Yeah, a mailbag.
I don't know how it works, but I do know that they should be looking at that, because the advantage switched from the team that got interfered with to the team that interfered. And I feel like that the umpires should be able to have control over that and determine what the end of that play should have been.
Yeah, it should have been like, you're out because you interfered, and you're out because you're out.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. Yes, I completely agree. But I also recognize that even if that had happened, the baseball gods would have pulled a baseball move, and they just would have hit one of our guys with lightning. Because it was like that.
Well, just think of this place. Let's just say that Arise got the ball cleanly without being interfered, throws it to Adames at second, and then takes out Adames.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, then the guy at first is out.
That's right.
Right? Well, that rule's already in there.
Yep.
So I don't see why this rule should be any different. Very, very strange.
Yeah. No, I agree.
So Saturday, wasn't in the cards. We got 10 hits, so we're still hitting. But we're 2 for 14 in runners in scoring position. We can't get that hit when we need it.
That feels like the 2025 Giants to me.
I've seen this movie before.
That's right. You've seen this movie before. I've seen it. We can't get the hit when we need it. And so, all right, we wasted a game started by Logan Webb. And then Sunday comes along, and I'm like, well, Hauser's inabilities to get out of the fifth has been pitching pretty well. And in spite of the home run that he gave,
they let him pitch into the fifth, dude.
Well, he pitched into the fifth. He was pitching well, despite the one home run that he got. It was one mistake, right? And it's not his fault that the Giants couldn't score runs. He was holding them there, and then he's got a 2-1 lead, 2 strikes with 2 outs in the fifth, and he can't get that last strike, that last out. And then once that happened, I just knew it. I mean, the Giants just were not going to come back. The only bright spot for me, Ben, was Daniel Susac going 1 for 3 with an RBI and throwing a runner out, which was a dart to second base.
Yes. Well, yeah. And I do want to, before we move on, because I'm about to just blow your mind with the greatest segue. I know how you love the segues.
I do love the segues.
I'm about to blow your mind. But before we do that, I do want to acknowledge that a certain individual finally showed up 16 games into the season and had a good series. A decent series. Hit a laser shot home run. And finally had some moments that mattered. Welcome to the 2026 season, Jung-Hoo Lee.
Oh, wow. You're giving him his flowers, huh?
Yes. Well, yes. I spit on them, but yes. Yes, I'm giving him his flowers. That being said, Matthew, getting back to Sunday, yes, Daniel Susac had an amazing game. I mean, not as amazing as he'd had been. Honestly, for Daniel Susac, this was kind of a ho-hum game.
It was.
Only one hit.
Batting average plummeted.
Oh, yeah.
After this.
God, he destroyed it. He got out twice for the first time in his career, I think. He made 2 outs in a game.
Yes. He also struck out for the first time in his career.
But still hitting .333 in that game. But you know who else had a good game as part of a great series, as part of playing really well since he came back from a minor lower back injury, is one Casey Schmitt. Our once, and hopefully not, but possibly current second baseman because of the whole Beaver attack.
Well, no, that Christian Koss got the start today, so...
Oh, that's true. That's true. Maybe they like Casey at the old DH spot. I don't know, but I think we're going to be seeing a lot of Casey Schmitt going forward. And before the season started, you and I had him at second base. They got Luis Arise. And then there was they didn't know what they were going to do with Casey Schmitt. But then Devers had his whole hamstring issue, groin issue. And so they decided to put Casey Schmitt at first base because, the Giants, they don't feel look, you're a good athlete. You can play first base even though you've never played it before. That's kind of how they roll. We know how they feel about that. They would never make a guy spend multiple years learning how to play first base in the minor leagues, even though he was a prodigious hitter for no reason. Or just for that reason, rather, because a guy can just learn that job on the fly. And so that's why Casey Schmitt was playing first base, and that turned out to be problem-free. But somewhere I got off track. Oh, yeah, no, because of Bryce Eldridge. The point is, Matthew, it got me thinking, those three gentlemen. There could be an alternate reality. In a different universe, we could have a very different set of players on this roster. A universe where there is no Patrick Bailey. But we got this Rule 5 draftee kid who's come out of nowhere and is now our everyday catcher. Casey Schmitt is finally given his shot at second base to be an everyday player. And the Eldridge Knight makes the opening day roster as our starting first baseman. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with you that that would be there is an alternate universe where that happens. And I'm not sure I don't like that. Like it
doesn't sound bad, right? Now that we've seen, look, okay, let me throw a little bit of a dose of reality on it first of all, because that's what I do.
No, don't do that. Just come on, let's live in the what if moment, Ben. Come on.
All right, okay. Oh no, let's do it, because in this world,
because
Bryce
we
Eldridge,
all know, like, you're gonna be like, oh yeah, he's only played in 6 games, and he's only got. You're gonna do that stuff. Okay, we know that.
That's exactly what I was gonna say about Daniel Susac, for sure.
Yeah, yes.
And even more so about Bryce Eldridge, right? As much as I like Bryce Eldridge, he doesn't have that much experience. But I would love to see that. We could have 2 guys competing for Rookie of the Year, given the way Susac is playing and Eldridge's reputation.
That's right. And we have had moments, like, over the last couple of years where we've been like, let the kids play, record be damned. Like, it would be fun to see guys just kind of grow into a role, kind of like we saw back in like 2009, 2010, where you had these young guys, albeit the pitching was stronger and all that. But you still got to see like a young Buster Posey, a young Brandon Crawford, a young Brandon Belt. You got to see these guys come into their own. So I was kind of okay with that. And now we're starting to produce these players, and yet we have some serious roadblocks for these young players.
Yeah, because that certainly couldn't happen today, right? I mean, like, the idea of bringing up Eldridge, first of all, is just sort of like, oh, he doesn't fit. Like, and that's me saying that. And I want him to fit. But he just doesn't fit. Like, I think he's going to be a first baseman. Like, there have been no signs that this kid can't play first base. Like, nobody's saying that. And, like, just from the brief flashes that we saw at the major league level, he looked fine. He certainly wasn't making Casey Schmitt-like errors.
Well, also not making Rafael Devers-like error. Today, Devers kicked 2 balls, and now Koss saved him on one, but couldn't save him on the other. So it's not like we've gotten this tremendous first base play already.
Yeah. So, I mean, I agree. And I will say this before we just jump into the roadblocks, but I will say this, like, if we didn't have Devers, we'd still have Doval, right? Now, Tyler probably would have gone to take the money.
Would we?
I mean, we would have Doval. I mean, what I'm saying is that we wouldn't have had to trade him. Like, if the plan was, I guess we
let the young guys kind of,
let the young guys tongue over, and we wouldn't have had to trade all these guys away, and we could have kept the bullpen together. That's kind of what I meant. But, like,
okay.
I'm
with you.
And if we didn't have Devers, we would have because like we would
have a young Kyle Harrison in our rotation,
right? And we would have had money to spend on Tyler Rogers, and because we wouldn't be giving it to Devers. So there is a universe where this all makes sense, and it actually fits. That being said, that's not what happened, right? Like, this is where we are. We have to confront reality, and I think that's what you're saying.
Yes.
Because that's usually what you do. You like to live in reality.
Well, actually, I like to live in fantasy, man.
Okay. Right.
But if you're talking about reality and we want to, let's say the season continues to be a struggle and Schmitt and Susac continue to hit and Eldridge continues to hit down in AAA, at some point that becomes your reality. Like, what are you going to do? So the easiest way to do that is to trade someone, right? And I don't want to talk about there's it. bullpen needs.
No, I don't want to talk about it.
Maybe an outfielder need.
I said I don't want to talk about it.
Well, so I'm gonna pose the question anyway.
Okay.
So there's 3 in my mind. There's at least 3 potential trades or trade candidates for the Giants. And I want to know, like, who are you trading? And I won't list the three, but I want to hear who's your number one trade target. If you're the Giants and you see this like log jam, you got to get rid of somebody to kind of that could help. You could help the major league team while also kind of getting rid of some of this log jam. What are you doing? Who are you trading?
If I'm the Giants.
Yes.
And
if you're Buster.
I'm leaving
you're
behind.
Sitting in Buster's seat.
I'm leaving behind all of Ben's biases.
Yes.
So I'm making the best choice for the San Francisco Giants.
Correct. And I like how you're clarifying this because I know where you're going to go with this.
I'm not doing this. I'm leaving.
Wow, he really did leave. Walked right out of his closet. Is he coming back?
Quitting the show.
Are you drunk?
Yes, Bob.
I would trade Eldridge. You heard me. That's what I said. Because he doesn't fit. He doesn't fit. You got Rafael Devers, who should be your DH, not your first baseman.
So then he does fit.
No, because then it's just like it's a left-handed power hitter.
We know what Devers does when he doesn't get what he wants, right? So is that what you're saying? Like, Devers is not the DH. He wants to play first base, and then you bring in this kid?
No, what I'm saying is that, like, yeah, if you make him your DH, then you have Eldridge playing first base, and you have very little, like, maneuverability in your lineup. Like, there's just no flexibility there. Okay, because somebody else off the lineups have to go, and right now that's Casey Schmitt. That's what you're saying. You're saying Casey Schmitt rides the pine, or Casey Schmitt is your DH, and then Eldridge stays in AAA, and so then he's tradable. Like that. This is what I'm saying. Like it doesn't fit because then it means you have to get rid of Schmitt. And that seems like a crazy thing. And you can't get rid of Devers. You can't get rid of him because nobody's gonna trade for him.
Okay, well, so here's another option. So we could trade Schmitt. You've got Koss as a second baseman.
And a Rise.
Shortstop, and a Rise. You've got the middle infield backup with Koss. You bring in Eldridge to take that spot, and who could play first base and DH, much like Schmitt has been doing. So that is definitely an option. Another option, Ben, is you trade a Rise.
Okay, now that's actually not a crazy idea. Because honestly, that was in the cards to begin with. And given where their record is, and if they don't, like, seriously dig out of this hole by the time the trade deadline comes around, that might be something that they would do anyway. Because Rise is on a 1 year. Exactly. Right? He's the perfect kind of guy that you would trade. You're not going to get a ton back for him.
No.
But if he's hitting really well, right, that drives his stock up. So you might get something decent. So, yeah, but here's what I mean. Like, the reason why my pick is Eldridge is because he's the one who gets you the biggest return in trade value. Rise is on a 1 year contract, and he's got a track record. Everybody knows what he can do, and it looks like he's doing it again this year, except he's playing a reasonably good second base. Right now, the Giants are getting the best Rise that we've ever seen.
Yeah.
Right. And so like, yeah, that's highly tradable, but he's a rental. Schmitt his ceiling isn't as high, and he's a little bit older. I mean, he's a lot bit older than Eldridge. So really Eldridge becomes the piece that is really the most valuable. You're going to get the most value out of. And as long as you have Devers, his fit is just not as good. That's why it's Eldridge. Mm-hmm. But I agree. You could move any one of those three. But the question is, would you do it now?
Well, that is the question. So I got a would you rather question. Would you rather trade one of these guys for bullpen help or other needs? And when I say one of these guys, I'm also including like Johnny Level, Gavin Keelan, these Josar Gonzalez. You've got some guys. Now, all of a sudden, you've got people in your system that other teams want. Would you trade Eldridge, Schmitt, Rise, or any of these prospects this season to put yourself in contention for either bullpen help or maybe a big bat in the outfield, or do you reset? Do you just wait it out and reset next season? because you don't want to give up any talent.
Okay, well, first of all, there's not going to be a next season, so I would not do that.
Man, what? Oh.
Look. Just because you don't like it and it's painful and gross and we all hate it doesn't mean it's not true. The rich people need to figure out how to divvy up their money, Matthew. Just because you and I are down here eating scraps doesn't mean they don't need to do it.
I know. It's tough decisions. Like, are you going to have the yacht or are you going to have the penthouse apartment? You can't have both.
Well, it's the yacht or the super yacht, right? Yeah. I mean, that's really the question. It's really about who gets the super yacht, right? Well, It's really about whether or not you both have super yachts. Because the owners always have super yachts. The question is, should the players? That's really what it's going to come down to, you know. And yeah, so they got to figure that out. And there's just no way they're not going to figure it out. So this lockout/strike thing is happening. All right, so there's not going to be a 2027.
But let's pretend there is. I mean, do you wait it out? Do you keep your talent in-house, or do you go for it this season, especially since there may not be a season next year?
I'm not 100% confident that this team is one fix away from being a contender right now.
Yes, they are. They're one move away from being the third wild card.
Matthew, if you want me to act rationally as the Giants front office, that's what I'm saying. I'm not confident. Like, look, I'm a smart guy. I recognize when I made mistakes. I screwed up the bullpen. I really hosed that up real bad. Like, I effed that up. Buster Posey, really screwed up the whole bullpen thing. Wow. What a boner I pulled. Okay, I really effed that up. Okay, I recognize
Buster,
that.
as long as you're bringing that up and you're admitting it, yeah, you screwed that up. Like, how could you not? Everyone, including you and me in our closets, knew that the bullpen was a weakness, and you just let it happen.
Well, okay, so, like, I don't know if we're doing some sort of weird form of therapy for Matthew right now. Do you want to go this direction? Because I can, if you just want to punch me, just punch me. Let's go. I'm Buster Posey. Get it out. Ow, that hurt. But no, look, but what I'm saying is that, like, okay, yeah, you screwed up the bullpen and you shouldn't have. Like, we all saw it happening and it happened. Like, when two old men in their closets are telling you it happens and you do it anyway, like, you effed up. Okay, that's on you. But also now you're not. I wouldn't be quite so confident that you do have enough in your position players. Right? So maybe you need to make some changes there. Now, you might have the internal pieces to do that. So if you think that you do, then yeah, go ahead and make a move to fix your bullpen. But also, do you have the starting depth that you want? Because I'm not saying that Malley and Hauserdy's can't get out of Hauserdy's inabilities to get out of the fifth are bad. But what I'm saying is that we still don't know the health situation, right, of any of these guys, right? So, like, do you feel good about the starting rotation depth? So, but if you're happy with those, fine. Go fix your bullpen that you screwed up. But you got to be really certain that puts you into contention. Because otherwise, like, no, I don't trade anybody except a rise, right? Because, like, everybody else I stand pat with. I agree.
That means Giants fans, we got to be a little patient. We got to suffer through maybe homeostasis or worse, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think if the offense turns it around and starts scoring runs more consistently, like they're putting up 3 to 4 runs per game, then
that's such a low bar. But yes, you're right. Yes.
Well, then you need to make a better bullpen. In order to overcome this bullpen, you need 5 to 6 runs per game. Like, because, like, we're starting to see it every game now, 2 or 3 runs out of the bullpen every game. Right. And unfortunately, it's coming from guys like Walker and Miller, not guys like Gage and Killian. Right. Which I would have assumed. So, like, if you can fix the bullpen and you think you can contend, then yeah, go ahead and make the move. The most valuable chip is Eldridge. He fits the least well. But boy, I'm going to effing hate you if you do it. I'm going to effing hate you.
I really don't want to watch Eldridge succeed somewhere else for us getting some.
But he will, and he will
third
soon.
Starter and a reliever or something.
Yeah, like if he goes to Tampa Bay, they're going to call him up immediately, and he's going to start mashing. That's a given. It's a given. That's what's happening.
Right.
If he goes to somewhere else, they're going to trade him to the Dodgers.
It's right.
Yeah.
Like James Tibbs the
Yeah,
third. Yes.
yeah, exactly.
Anyway, okay. Well, it's time to wrap this up. Ben, we're heading to Cincinnati. We got Monday off, and then we start on Tuesday, a 3-game series against the Reds at the Great American Launching Pad. Well, starters for that, we got Robbie Ray, Tyler Mahle, and Landon Roop. So I'll take that. I'll take that against 3 guys you've never heard of. So I think that's something that maybe we can bounce back, and you and I will be in a much better mood when we come back on Thursday.
Baby, if you ever wondered whatever became of me, I'm living on the air in Cincinnati. Cincinnati, WKRP.
Isn't it time for the booze, boys?
Ben has been boozing it up already, Bob. He's singing WKRP, man.
I might have had enough, Bob.
What are you drinking, Matthew?
Well, Bob, I'm drinking an Espresso Martini. What's in the Espresso Martini? Well, it's got 2 ounces of vodka, 1 ounce of Mr. Black's coffee liqueur. And for me, that is my preference in terms of the coffee liqueurs. Then you're going to do 1 ounce of espresso. I will say that it needs to be warm or at room temperature, because if it's cold, it will not foam the way that a warm or room temperature espresso will. And then 1/4 ounce of spiced Demerara syrup, or just a regular Demerara syrup if that's all you got. And a dash of Aztec chocolate bitters. Some might call that optional, but not me. I really like that little chocolatey flavor at the end. You're going to put all that into a shaker with ice. Shake it for about 10 to 15 seconds. Really hard, though. Like, you want it to get nice and foamy. And you're going to strain it into a martini glass and garnish it with 3 espresso beans, 1 for each World Series championship, or 1 for each double that Casey Schmitt had on Saturday or Friday. I can't remember. One of those days. And that's what I'm drinking, Bob, an Espresso Martini.
That's a tasty cocktail.
Yes, very tasty.
What are you drinking, Ben?
It was Sunday, Matthew.
That's when he had his 3 hits or 3 doubles? Both?
Oh, that's when he had I thought you said 3 hits. That's when he had his 3 hits. His 3 doubles were on Friday.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So, I mean, you could just pick a day for Casey Schmitt.
Yeah.
That's how good he's been.
Yeah. We should trade him. Thank you for asking, Bob. That's very kind of you. Bob, today I'm drinking a cocktail. Maybe you haven't heard of it. It's pretty exotic. It's called the Margarita. What's in a margarita? Well, I'm going to tell you what's in this margarita because I'm sure we've mentioned the margarita on this show before. Well, Bob, in this margarita, I put 2 ounces of reposado tequila. But don't worry, you don't have to break the bank because I used Kirkland brand. Don't have Costco membership? That's okay. You can go to any Costco and tell them that you were just there to buy alcohol. And it is illegal to sell alcohol behind a membership in California, so you will be allowed to do that. Then you're going to add to that 1/2 ounce of orange curacao, not the blue stuff. Pick a good brand. I don't remember what my brand is, but it's the fancy one in the square-shaped bottle.
The Ferrand.
Yes, it's the Ferrand. I don't know if it's Ferrand. It's the square-shaped bottle. That's the one. And then to that, I added 1/2 ounce of simple syrup, or you can use agave syrup, but really you shouldn't do anything. But I do that because I'm a sugaraholic. Okay? Yeah. And then I had 3/4 of an ounce of lime juice. If you really like the lime flavor, which is kind of what the margarita is, you can go with 1 ounce. Put all of that into a shaker with ice, shake it until it's well chilled, and then strain that into a rocks glass over fresh rocks. Now, normally I wouldn't do that to a sour, but that's what you do with a margarita. Also, this time I salted my rim. Now, obviously I did that before I put the ice in it, because it's way harder when the ice is in there to salt the rim. Just ask Matthew. That's how he does it every time. What a bozo.
So hard.
Anyway, that's what I'm drinking today, Bob. A margarita.
That's a tasty cocktail.
It's one of the best out there, Bob. It's one of the best out there.
Can't mess with a classic, man. That is really good. And I was right. Ferrand is the square dry curacao, Bob.
Okay, great. There you go. That's what I'm drinking. And that's a wrap. Thank you for joining us. We will be back on Thursday, which is the day after Wednesday, in case you didn't know. After the Giants finish their series against the Cincinnati Reds, where apparently I am on the air. But if you can't wait that long to get your fix, feel free to reach out to us on the social medias where you can find the username Giant Cocktails. You can also find us on YouTube where you can like and subscribe and comment. You can also comment on Spotify, where I'm not 100% sure you can actually leave a review of our entire podcast, even though we've been saying that you can for a year and a half. But if you can, do that too. Or do it over at Apple Podcasts, if that's where you roll. But wherever you leave that review, make sure that it's 5 stars positive, because otherwise it makes Bob very angry. Why is that, Bob?
It's not positive if it's not 5-star positive.
That's right. Matthew, it was great talking San Francisco Giants with you. Until next time, cheers, my friend.
Cheers, Ben. Bye, everybody.
Goodbye! WKRP was a fictional radio station. That's this form of media where it gets broadcast over radio waves, and you receive it on this little box called a radio. And they play music, but you can't control it. They play whatever they want.
Congratulations. You've survived another episode of Giant Cocktails. Until next time, here's mud in your eye.
I mean, we have so many young listeners, Matthew. I thought that it would be good to explain exactly what WKRP is. Now, I could have explained the whole K and W thing.
Oh, yeah, that would have really, east of the Mississippi, west of the Mississippi.
Or the Rocky Mountains, or I don't know. It's one of those things. I don't really understand it. Because 3 letters wasn't enough to, have unique. And so that's why they had the K and the, I don't know. This is weird. It is weird. The stuff we did.
As God is my witness, I thought turkeys could fly. I got a flock of 21 turkeys that go past my property all the time, and they can fly.
Yeah.
Not for very long, but they can fly.
Yeah, so can chickens. If you go to the chickens in Hawaii, man, on the island of Kauai, Kauai, they are, they're getting quite good at it. I've seen them fly across the road, dude.
Yeah. I've seen turkeys fly over my fence.
Yeah.
They're pretty easily airborne.
Yeah. Why did the chicken cross the road? Because he could fly.
That's a tasty cocktail.
Sorry, I hit the wrong button. Just say goodbye.
Is that Bob just drinking his own cocktail? Yeah, he's
getting drunk over here.
Oh, shit, I thought we were off the air. Oh, I'm sorry, shirt balls. That's what I meant.
Subscribe now while you're still drunk. Tell 'em Bob sent you.